Welcome to OnScreen English with Steve Marshall. Lesson 17 is on future perfect. We use the future perfect to talk about finished actions in the future. Let's look at this sentence. Lau says, I'll have done all my exams by Friday next week. Is the future action Lau describes temporary or finished? The answer is, it's finished. I'll show you this on the timeline. Here's Lau now. He's looking forward into the future. The time idea by Friday next week is represented by a continuous pink line. It begins now and ends Friday next week. I'll have done all my exams. The finished action is represented by a question mark. We don't actually know when the action is completed, so we can just put the question marks in to guess. Let's look now at the form for the future perfect. Looking at the sentence, I'll have done all my exams by Friday next week. Here are the different parts of the sentence. It begins with the subject I, next a form of the verb will, apostrophe LL. Then we have, followed by the past participle done. Friday next week is a specific future time. And by means any time between now and then. Here's a task I prepared for you to practice the future perfect. Read the cues below and write a sentence for each one using the future perfect. Let's look at cue number 1. It says, let's meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. Finish work by then. So your answer could be the following. Let's meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. as I'll have finished work by then. 2. Next year, live in New York for 15 years. Here's the answer. Next year, I'll have lived in New York for 15 years. You can also use future perfect continuous. I'll have been living in New York for 15 years. It means the same thing. 3. Restaurant closed by 10 p.m. Need to go earlier. The answer. The restaurant will have closed by 10 p.m. So we need to go earlier. Here's a summary of the lesson. When do we use the future perfect? To talk about actions that will be completed at or by a specific time in the future. Here are 2 sentences. I'll have done all my exams by this time next week. I'll have done all my exams on Friday. I'll have done all my exams is the completed action. By this time next week and on Friday are specific future times. By this time next week is by a specific time in the future. On Friday, at a specific time in the future. Thank you, that's all for now. If you would like to see the next video in this series, OnScreen English Lesson 18, Asking Questions, just click on the link.